All right, welcome everyone to the All About Nothing podcast kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King. You can find me across all social media at Barrett Gruber. With me is the host of the podcast Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. It's Bill Kimler. You can follow him across all social media at Political Bill SC. If you want to participate in the show, you can chat with us on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. You can find links at the top of our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. Please follow and subscribe wherever you are hearing us. Let's get started. Hey, Bill, how was your weekend?
Hey, Barrett. Weekend was too short as usual.
Mine was 4 days long and still too short and usual.
Huh. You didn't have to work today, President's Day, huh?
Yeah, so we don't technically acknowledge President's Day. What we do is they do an employee appreciation day, which they call Duck Day Out, which is nice. They do it every year, the same day every year, and it works out to our benefit. We get the day off.
Duck Day Out.
Yeah. So the company I work for, Duck Creek Technologies, that's what we call it, is Duck Day Out.
Are they U.S. based?
They are U.S. based, although a lot of our resources are overseas, across the world. I mean, a lot in India. We have offices in Poland, the UK, Spain, Australia. You know what? That's the only ones I can think of right now. I'm sure.
Well, Paris, I want to say hi to our Canadian neighbors and wish them a happy Family Day. That's what they celebrate. Today is Family Day.
Okay.
That's a day where I would just get away from my family and wish them well. Happy Family Day. We're all happier if I'm not in the picture.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well,
and that's a wrap for this episode.
That was done. We finished it up. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful evening. We'll see you.
I had a morbid thought on the way home from dinner, thinking about this show. And speaking of better off without me, I was thinking about when the inevitable happens with our current president. So an eventuality, you say is any day now. I say it's 100 years from now, but let's say it's somewhere in between, right?
Okay.
How torn apart do you think this nation is going to become on that moment? I mean, I'm just reflecting back when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, how that tore the country up, where anybody who said anything remotely bad about Charlie Kirk, even reproducing his own quotes, were attacked. People lost their jobs. Lawsuits were filed. I mean, it just got very nasty very quickly. And Charlie Kirk was like a pimple on the ass of the problem that we have with the president. I mean, they take that, magnify it by 100. So I just wonder what it's going to be like.
You know, you ask a really good question, and
with that, I'm going to step aside and let you answer it. I'll be right back.
My fear is that there is going to be, because if you look at who Donald Trump's party is, the people that support him and that look at him as their leader, I think one of the big problems that we have is that Donald Trump's party is the party of conspiracy. And I think that one of the problems that we're going to have is that immediately we are going to wind up having an entire, I mean, millions. We're going to have millions and millions of people that are either going to believe that he's not really dead. They're going to believe that he was murdered. They're going to believe that anything that is fact isn't fact, that it's all false. So I think
I just think we're going to devolve into utter chaos.
I think so too. I think it's going to be a serious problem. You know, it's Donald Trump passing at some point, because it's going to happen. I think that it's going to send. I think it's going to send people into just fits of euphoria and fits of rage. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And then, who's going
to... All I know is that if you are not properly somber enough, you will get crucified.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, I'm not going to say condone celebrating in the streets and, shooting off fireworks. That's going to happen, though. And what will also happen is they'll take one video of a lunatic dancing in the streets in celebration, and just say the entire Democratic Party, or the whole left, all of the left. Look what they do, and as if they're not guilty of the same thing, where we can find any one of the right doing something atrocious and then paint them all that way. It's just the way we have now been wired over the last 12 years with an administration that has broken all the norms and conventions of what the dignity of that office should be. And he has normalized personal attacks. If the president of the United States can get away with it, then Jim Bob Joe down the street can as well.
Yeah.
And that's just what we're going to see. It's awful.
I think this weekend was one of probably the most surreal weekends when it came to the things that came out from people finding information in the Epstein files. There's 3.
Yeah, I found 50 more instances of Gruber in those files. I dug a little deeper, and we got some names unredacted, and saw some more Grubers. They're all over the files, man. I'm telling you.
It can't possibly be me. I can look. One of the TV shows that I've gotten into watching lately is The Traitors on Peacock, and I'm going to tell you right now.
So you're the viewer. Good for you.
Potentially. Well, me and Kirsten Pruitt from Politically Speaking. It's the two of us, but I have binged the first 3 seasons. I'm watching the 4th season now. But I can tell you unequivocally, I am not in the Epstein files. There's no way, shape, or form. And I have nothing to hide. Like, if I had any association with Jeffrey Epstein, then I would deny it, obviously, but I would tell you, outside of the show. But no. How
about that? I saw, there's just so much to absorb, so I know I'm missing a ton. But there was one revelation from the Epstein files with Bill Gates visiting, and in an email asking what's the best way to slip STD meds into Melinda Gates's drink,
for herpes.
His wife's drink,
for herpes.
Yeah. How repulsive.
And that was something that Zach and I had talked about, because Bill Gates was the guy that when he was coming up with Windows and he was that his team was all working on that Bill Gates was the guy that they said would pay strippers to put their clothes
to stay dressed
on.
Yeah.
I was disgusted this weekend, and I saw clips of some videos. I saw some images of some videos that are part of the Epstein files. Some of these videos that are coming to light include what is obviously a girl that is tied to a chair in some sort of a box that is being filled with water, and she is trying to break her. She's screaming as the water is continuing to come up, and in the background you hear multiple voices of people. You can't identify these voices, but this was video footage that apparently was obtained during the prosecution of Epstein, or part of what the prosecution was going to use against Epstein. And the horrific, even if that was just the only one, the horrific things that they were doing to girls or kids or children or whatever in that he was doing.
So answer me this question. How is it that all these names are coming to light, and all around the world, princes and CEOs and everybody are stepping down, being booted out, being turned upon? They're all feeling the consequences of these revelations. Yet nobody in the United States, nobody in our government who's mentioned, feels even a feather of a tickle as a consequence. Everywhere else, there's consequences, but here.
Because the people that are involved here in the United States are the ones that are currently in power. And they are, the only word to describe is monsters. We literally have monsters controlling.
Well, we have monsters as voters. They took a look at a guy with the videotape saying, grab him by the pussy. And when you're rich and famous, they let you get away with it. And said, yeah, he's fit for office.
Yeah.
And then that same guy led an insurrection in the capital of our building, denies it all he wants. We all saw it.
A coup.
Right? He led a violent insurrection. They said, yeah, you know what? Let's put him back. So I think it's the voters, it's the Americans that have turned into monsters that looked at that and said, yes, that is what we prefer.
He used simple-minded individuals that have zero critical thinking skills to attempt a citizens-based coup against their own country. People that claim themselves to be patriots he may not have been there in physical form, but he led them in spirit to an insurrection that ultimately was going to fail regardless. There's no way it would.
I don't know.
You think it could have happened?
I think it could have succeeded.
I have a really hard time seeing.
They made it into the Capitol and ran amok. They were in the building. They were in the hall. They were in Nancy Pelosi's office. Tell me you think it couldn't have happened? If they were better armed and better organized, if there was a vice president who stood behind it and didn't stand up against it.
Sure. Yeah.
Imagine if that was J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance would be leading with a saber in his hand. From behind, of course, but not leading from the front. He'd be leading from the back.
He'd be protecting all of the couches.
You said it.
I did, and I'm not wrong. But yeah, I don't see the logistics of being able to do what they planned on doing. That seemed like it was going to be the most difficult.
Yeah.
The fact that the entire American government right now is being controlled by people that are either the monsters or individuals that think that they have to protect those monsters. I think that's the part that I came to recognize more and more over the weekend, and that I'm having to come to grips with. I'm just in shock of some of the evidence that the FBI and Homeland Security investigations and other organizations in the federal government during Trump's first term had started collecting and were collecting to mount a prosecution against Jeffrey Epstein. And where are those people now? Where are those people that started those investigations or were part of those investigations? Did they just fall in line? Are they no longer involved? Did they retire? Were they fired? It's extremely disturbing. Extremely disturbing.
So what else is new? Take us to a cheerier place.
Oh Lord, I wish you hadn't said that, because the other thing that was drastically impactful was the announcement today of the death of Robert Duvall.
Oh, we're gonna get crying, Barrett. Tell me, Barrett. What did Bobby Duvall, Tom from The Godfather, what did he mean to you?
Boo Radley. I don't think there was ever a Robert Duvall movie that I didn't watch and enjoy. And I would.
What do you say to the fact that he was in the Epstein Files and he was named there? Did that not bother you?
I didn't know that. I didn't see that one. Is he? He's not really.
I'm sorry, did I burst your bubble? No, I know. I made that up.
Okay,
I have no idea.
There
goes the eulogy.
That would have been heartbreaking. Robert Duvall, honestly, if thinking back to the first movie that we ever watched when I was in grade school was To Kill a Mockingbird. And Robert Duvall playing Boo Radley, who had no lines in this movie, but delivered an unbelievably powerful performance in this movie. And then I think back to the other movies. I quoted Secondhand Lions, which I'm trying, Bill. Secondhand Lions was just an unbelievably good movie. And, it's even, just watching the movie, if you don't get teary-eyed watching the movie. But,
So the guy was 95 years old.
It was. I mean,
why be sad that he passed away? What were you hoping for? More movies out of him? You were hoping he would have a long life, live to be 190.
It's every day that there was an announcement of.
To be honest, did you even know he was alive?
Yeah.
Because I bet if you had asked me 3 days ago, Bobby D, dead or alive, I would like, no, I thought he passed like 5-6 years ago.
Nope, I'd have told you he's alive. Same as Willie Nelson. I have my Google alerts set specifically for Willie Nelson. The day Willie Nelson dies, we're not doing this show.
You have a Google alert for when Willie Nelson dies.
Well, anytime there's Willie Nelson news, I
want to see your Google alert settings. I want to know what shit you're monitoring out there. There's got to be some creepy stuff. Kimler arrested. Send me an alert.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're in. I don't think you're in mine. I did have Villardo when I was a campaign manager. So it's, any news that popped up on any news organizations or articles or whatever that mentioned him, it definitely popped up.
So, I mean, you were a fan of Duvall since One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I got to be honest, aside from The Godfather, I really don't know many movies that he was in. I know there was a recent one, something about him being a judge and he has a son with a problem. I remember seeing that, thinking that was good, but I don't remember much in the way of details.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. was in that one. He was the judge.
I know there was another one. Right. There was another one where he was a preacher, like a revivalist. Was it called Preacher or something like that?
Pale Blue Eyes. Was that was that Pale Blue Eyes?
I don't know if that. I think it was something simple called The Preacher, but maybe Pale Blue Eyes. I don't recall the name, but he was like a Midwestern revivalist preacher, doing tent revivals.
The Apostle.
That's it. That's the one. The Apostle.
Fantastic movie.
That I remember being very, very good. I think the biggest shame was that he was not in Godfather 3. Yeah.
Well,
that really soured that movie for me. Because he was as key of a character as anybody else.
Yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird. He was in the first Invasion.
Oh, did I say One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah,
I think I meant To Kill a Mockingbird. Thanks.
Apocalypse Now.
Yes,
he delivered the famous. What was it?
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yeah, famous.
Lonesome Dove. He was in Lonesome Dove, that TV series. What else?
Was that one about the priests that got it on that had affairs?
No.
Or no, that was the Thornbirds.
Yeah.
Those TV series from back in those days, they all seemed the same.
No, he played Gus McCrae in Lonesome Dove.
Okay.
Deep Impact, where he played the veteran astronaut that I think who was president in that movie? Was it
Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman. Yeah, Morgan Freeman. That may have been the first time he was president, but he had been president. He was president a couple more.
He's been reelected a number of times throughout the movies. Yes.
Good for him. Open Range is absolutely one of my favorite Westerns with Kevin Costner. That was a fantastic movie. And, and these are movies that honestly I can put on almost any time and sit there and watch the whole thing completely, uninterrupted or interrupted.
Were you hoping to get him on one of the Comic-Cons for an interview? Were you aiming for that?
That would have been difficult. I'd be curious if he's ever done a Comic-Con. That would have been interesting. He was in Bullet, Days of Thunder, there are. This
is a great list of movies that I've never seen.
Really? Bill, when you're done with your Stephen King journey, you need to go through and do a Robert Duvall journey.
No, I've got another journey lined up, but thank you.
What is your next journey lined up?
Clive Barker. He was my other most influential writer from high school through my mid-20s.
Did you ever do
everything?
Koontz?
No, he's trash. Dean Koontz is trash.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
He's trash. Any book that you can finish in an hour is trash. That's a Dean Koontz book.
Yeah, that's fair. That's like Michael Crichton books.
I liked Michael Crichton books.
Okay, but
those were interesting. Yeah.
Did it always seem like virtually every Michael Crichton book ended because he had to pay his mortgage or his rent or something?
What do you mean by ended because he had to pay his mortgage?
Jurassic Park ends abruptly, in my opinion. Congo.
Like, it would make sense if he ran out of time. Or are you saying that the rent was due, so that's why he wrapped the book up? Is that what you meant?
That's
okay.
what I'm feeling like, because Congo ends like the Congo, the story is going, and the found the monkey.
You know what? I think it's a curse of famous authors. Stephen King is the same way. Like, he could have the most amazing novel, the journey, the characterizations, the buildup, and then the climax is like 3 paragraphs at the end. You're like, the fuck just happened?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. King is just like, he's notorious for not being able to stick a landing. But when he does it really well.
Yeah.
But most of the time, he doesn't have a good ending. And Crichton's the same way. But if you look at the book as more of a thought-provoking journey, like Disclosure. Okay. I remember loving Disclosure because it was all about technology and espionage and building chip factories, and it's just a cool topic.
Yeah. Disclosure was good. I don't know. I feel like with Robert Duvall that his passing, and like I said, I knew he was alive because I knew I had not heard of his death. It just came as and honestly, I've never met Robert Duvall. I met Willie Nelson a couple times. But I don't know. He was just sort of, he was fun to watch. And I knew he wasn't ever going to do a movie again. So,
well, see, I'm trying to think, is there an actor out there or actress whose loss I would feel emotionally? And I think it already happened with Robin Williams. Like that one, I felt a kick in the gut when he passed. But aside from him, like, just think of anybody. I can't think of any actor out there. If I hear they passed, they'd be like, oh shit, and feel like really down in the dumps for the day.
Yeah, I can't think of many more actors or actresses or
like, even take Robert De Niro, right? Just as famous, more famous than Bobby Duvall. Yeah. Al Pacino. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, they were great actors, loved their movies, but I'm not going to feel emotionally tied to them. Why was Bobby Duvall a emotional connection for you?
Well, good question. I think, and before I say it, Zach jumped into the chat with Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy was I definitely had an attachment to Leonard Nimoy. Bill Shatner may be one that I wind up having an attachment to, but with Robert Duvall's,
well, that's racist. I mean, you didn't even mention George Takei, so why not the Japanese guy?
So George Takei is still alive too. George Takei is still alive too. But so, and I like George Takei, but or George Takei or whatever, but he was on Howard Stern enough. I got a pretty good fill of, I got a lot of time listening to George Takei. Not gonna say a fill of him. But yeah, Leonard Nimoy. I think but with Robert Duvall, I think it wasn't just, it was his style of acting. It was how he presented his characters that I think really had the biggest impact. But as well, the movies that he did just had, I don't know. It's excuse me.
Like Liam Neeson, right? Yeah. He was in Schindler's List.
Sure.
Phenomenal movie, touching, not a dry eye in the house at the end. He passes. Are you going to be upset?
No.
That's just cruel, man. That's cruel. That was Schindler.
Give me a little credit. Maybe if he does 3 or 4 more of those Naked Gun movies, maybe I'll get more attached. Which, by the way, I think the Naked Gun movie was pretty good.
I haven't seen that yet. It's in my to watch queue.
Okay, good.
I can't wait to get to it.
But some of the Robert Duvall movies, like Open Range, just the visual effects of where it was filmed but
what's that have to do with him? Avatar was amazing. The visual effects were great. Am I going to be crying when Sigourney Weaver passes away? No.
Is Sigourney Weaver still alive?
She is.
Are they going to do another Alien movie?
I don't know.
Well, then pass. But I don't know. I don't know. I've got friends that anytime the death of some celebrity that I seem to have an attachment to, like as soon as Zach said Kid Rock, yeah, he was iconic in what was the movie with David Spade, Joe Dirt. Kid Rock was pretty amazing in Joe Dirt. That's the
But I'll
only
tell
thing
you,
I can think of him.
I cry at movies all the time.
Yeah.
Like just even today, I was shedding a tear at lunch while I was watching the series finale of Stranger Things. Finally made it to the end.
Okay.
And I found that show to be hitting a lot of emotional punches throughout the entire series. I thought it was very well written, great acting.
Interesting.
Story was a little bit weak, but I wrapped it up. I thought they nailed the ending. I was really impressed by it. It was more of an emotional ending than an action ending, but I thought they nailed it.
Are you
especially
Are you one of the people that thinks that that there is a 9th episode out there somewhere? No. It's done. We're done.
No, I think it's done. And it hit me today that as the Stranger Things kids, at least the characters, graduated high school,
yeah,
they said, welcome and congrats, class of 89, which is my class.
Yeah.
That's when I graduated high school. And so I just made an instant connection that I could have been one of those dorks, those Dungeons and Dragons playing dorks and Stranger Things. And that really hit. And the goodbyes and the farewells and the montages, that all struck. And I'll cry my eyes out at movies. Love it.
It was a good ending for you.
What?
The Stranger Things. It was a good ending for you.
I thought it was a good ending. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Here's the caveat to that. I haven't watched Stranger Things past episode 2 of season 4 because the last episode I saw, not that I'm not going to watch it, but the last episode that I saw was the one, I guess it was the cheerleader was being raised up in the trailer
and bent all out of shape. She got bent out of shape.
Yeah, that was the last thing I saw. So I still have some Stranger Things to watch.
But you're not a horror person though.
It depends. Like I started watching it, but then I got hooked on some other stuff, and I still got not it. Sorry. Welcome to Derry. I still haven't gotten through Welcome to Derry yet, and I keep telling myself it's still on my continue watching page on Plex, and I need to go and finish it.
I've heard nothing. I've not seen it yet because I haven't gotten to that book in my journey, but I cannot wait. I've been hearing nothing but great things about it, and by the time I get there, I'm hoping that they'll have had 3 seasons by that point.
Yeah. Well, it is very good. And whoever owns HBO at that point, whether it's Discovery, Warner's Brothers, Paramount, Netflix, whoever.
Donald Trump Jr. will own it all by that point. Yeah. It'll all be consolidated under him.
So much disturbing things about Donald Trump Jr. and the impact that his investments are having in different things, which we can get into in the next episode. But there is very little that seems to be going on with our government, especially with like government contracts or something that aren't part of some organization that Donald Trump Jr. has his hands in. It's I
just want to take every person who says Donald Trump is not even taking a salary. What a generous president he is. He's doing it because of the love for the people. And meanwhile, they've made billions in Bitcoin that he's forced his government to be involved in. He was hosting fundraisers in the White House for his Bitcoin venture and inviting dignitaries from across the world to a White House dinner. Get out of here.
He accepted a $400 million plus dollar plane from the country of Qatar. He's done nothing but make money off of the presidency. And, somebody said, well, I think I was listening to a podcast and it's one of these podcasts where you have conservatives and you have liberals and they're just going back and forth. And the conservative keeps saying, if it's proven that he did anything wrong, then he's not my president anymore. And it's like, what else do you need? Like,
you can't step out the door without tripping over evidence of him doing stuff wrong. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's the same thing. Online, millions of posts about the Epstein Files, and somebody commented underneath, "Trump isn't even in the Epstein Files. 0 mentions," they claim.
That's
I go, "Are
insane to
you
me.
effing kidding?"
How can you turn? How can you be so blind to the photographic evidence, the video evidence, the fact that there are emails mentioning Donald Trump, specifically between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, talking about that they need to make sure they're stocked up on adult diapers because the last time he was there, they ran out and he shit everywhere.
How about that he's surrounding himself with like all of the alumni of Epstein University.
Yeah, benefactors of Epstein.
So we've talked about this, people in his own cabinet. Then you've got the director and producer of his wife's movie, Melania, Brett Ratner. Pictures of him with Epstein comes out. He's been hiding in Israel because of rape charges here in the U.S.
Yep.
And then we find out, I shared this with you, you almost didn't believe it. We talked about that Mike Tyson Maha commercial on the Super Bowl. That was directed by Brett Ratner.
Right.
So why are you surrounding yourself intentionally? 1 million directors out there. You pick the one that has Epstein connections.
Honestly,
there's something to this where you're just keeping them all within your orbit to keep them quiet.
I think ultimately that's what it is. And somebody said, well, if he's in there, then they should prosecute. Who's going to prosecute him? You've literally got an attorney general who goes out in front of Congress, sworn in to give the honest truth in front of committee, the oversight committee, and all she does is go out there and either blast the Democratic Congress members, or she's just cheerleading Donald Trump. The Dow's over 50,000. S&P's over
$50,000.
Yeah, $50,000. Wouldn't that be disappointing? Man, New York Stock Exchange.
Well, I'm going to put in a plug. I'm in the middle of editing our next episode. We had a very interesting conversation with U.S. Senate candidate Brandon P. Brown.
Yeah.
He was really good. I really didn't know much about the guy except what I've seen online, but to meet him in person, and his campaign manager, Brandon Upson, was there as well. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I saw some
we had a great time.
I saw some video on Brandon's page that of him recording with you all. And the thing that stood out to me was the fact that you were still on one of your other mics, your old mics.
Yeah, you know why? You know why? Why? Only you would notice that because, you knew what we were doing. I show up to our studio with all the equipment in hand.
Yeah.
And I left my third mic back at home.
Oh, no.
It was charging. I never packed it up. I thought, and I had everything labeled and neatly arranged and ready to go. And I had forgotten the third mic. And fortunately, I still had my old equipment. So I just took my, old mic and put it in. But so I'm doing the editing, and with the new cameras I got, the video output is of much higher quality.
Oh, that's great.
Very, very happy with it. Yeah.
That's
a lot more professional than that one shot camera that we've been using all this time.
Sure.
Now we've got 3 cameras in play.
That's very cool.
It looks pretty good, if I have to say so myself.
Well, I will say that the episode that Zach and I released this week with Alex Avenger, it's always fun to talk to Alex. But as well, if you go and you check out the YouTube page, you can actually watch Zach painting my beard, which he thoroughly enjoyed. I know I did
I never realized that I was such a big fan of homoerotic fiction. Like, that was an amazing episode.
Well,
the funny thing is that I just had to visual. I've only seen the short clip that you've shared here.
Yeah.
But just listening to your episode, I'm just imagining him lovingly putting his fingers through your beard, streaking it blue, while the two of you are talking about the Epstein Files. Like that was going on in my mind.
That's very close. It's very close. Zach's very touchy. But I will say we did record an episode yesterday that'll release next Monday with Zalal Habibi, who is my age, but she is part of the resistance against the regime in Iran.
Yeah.
Fantastic interview. She.
So how did you come across this guest? Like, that's wild.
You're going to hate this.
You just answered an unsolicited email.
Well, not unsolicited. This is actually somebody that has sent us a couple people before. So
now you're in the pipeline.
Yeah. So
with this firm.
I won't give her full name, but I'll just say Molly has sent us a couple guests, and I think that they've been really good. And Zalal was fantastic. And she and I are going to keep in touch because we're going to definitely cheer her on. But there's information that we're going to include in the episode for people, scripts and things like that people can write to their senators and their representatives to continue the support of sanctions against Iran that do help with the resistance. So
I gotta say, you get some of the most interesting guests.
You do too.
I mean, think of that kid who travels the world doing journalism in war zones.
Today. Happy birthday, Luke Bazo.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal. And then the firefighter, the wildfire firefighter from California.
I'm hoping that I get to go.
Fascinating.
I'm hoping that I get to fly out to California in May to actually go to his ranch.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
And a guy who was like the world's expert on President Grover Cleveland, or maybe it was a different president. Chester A. Arthur, was it?
Grover Cleveland.
Which one?
Grover Cleveland, not a bad president. Not a bad president comparatively to what we have now.
Yeah. Anyhow, you get an amazing list of guests. I'm looking forward to this one. I'll be paying special attention to it. Will she be dyeing your beard blue in this episode? That's what I want to know.
She was in Paris, so that's a long ways away. I think at best she'll get. Zach
also, think about how many international interviews you've given you've interviewed people who are overseas. Marianne Williamson, I think she was in London at the time you interviewed her.
Yeah. And again, not to cast shade on Marianne Williamson or her campaign, but had they shared that interview or any of the shorts that we created from it,
you could have gotten 3 votes.
Numbers. That's right. That's right. So, all right. Well, we'll wrap it up because we went over.
Yeah, we did. Had to hear your sob Bobby Duvall story, but I'm here for you.
I wish that I could attend Bobby Duvall's funeral. Would
you be a pallbearer for him if asked?
I absolutely would.
Wow.
Absolutely would. Whatever's out there after this, then yeah, I'll do it. Whatever's out there after this, I hope Robbie Duvall's in the best place. So, all right, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Big thanks for everybody tuning in. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, you can follow Bill at Political Bill SC. You can follow me at Barrett Gruber on all of the social medias. And thanks for liking, hitting that bell. And if you can, give us a 5-star review and leave a comment. Until next time, you all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself.